Okay, so I'm going to do the shape one. This one, you guys should study. Make sure you know how to do it. Make sure you know how to find the perimeter of any shape. It's very easy. You just add up the sides. Okay, so here we go. This diagram shows a star and a rectangle. Okay, so as you can see, this star, all these sides are equal length. So the length of this one side here is 4x minus 3, okay? 4x minus 3 is here. And so the rest of these lengths must be 4x minus 3 too. We could just assume they're all equal. So the perimeter of the square would be so it'd be this side plus 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 this side, okay? And all of them are 4x minus 3. That's how long they are. And then once we plug in an x, we'll know the actual centimeters. So if x equals 2, that means this side is going to be equal to 5, right? Because 4 times 2 equals 8 minus 3, that's 5 centimeters. So they're just giving us a little bit of math instead of giving us the exact length. So the perimeter of this star must be 4x minus 3 plus 4x minus 3 plus 4, you know, right? You just add it all up, add. And so how many sides are there? Let's count. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 sides, so we have to do 4x minus 3. How many times? 8 times, okay? Why can't I? Sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to go back to writing. What? I want to write. Hold on, I'm sorry, you guys. I have no idea how to do this. I clicked the A? No. Okay, I'll just insert a text box. Okay, so I'm sorry. So I'll just write in this text box since I literally don't know how to get back into that, right? Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to write. So we could say the perimeter of the star, so S for star, is 4x minus 3 plus 4x minus 3, right? How many times? 8 times, right? Plus 4x minus 3, because that's how long each side is. So we just keep adding them, right? Until we add up all the sides. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so now we have 8, right? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you have to keep the brackets there. I mean, technically when you're adding, you really don't, but it's just a good idea to keep it as a habit. So instead of writing all that, why don't we just say the perimeter of the star is equal to 8 times 4x minus 3. That's a bit easier, right? It's just, 8 times, because we know that, 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 is the same thing as 4 times 5. because there's 4 5s being added. That's literally what addition is. It's just, I mean multiplication, sorry. Multiplication is just fast addition, all right? And powers are just fast multiplication, all right? So this is 4 times 5 is the same thing as 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5, okay? So remember that. So that's why we're doing this. We just simplified it. Now let's do the perimeter of this rectangle. Well, let's put this down here where it says. So find the perimeter of the star. There it is, okay? Now let's find the perimeter. So this could be our final answer. Even though this is, you don't have to write all of this, of course. You just have to write this last bit, right? Just the 8 times 4 to the power 4x minus 3. So now let's do the perimeter of the rectangle. Well, the perimeter of the rectangle is this plus this plus this plus this. And we know, what do we know that, so we know these two sides, but what's this side down here? Well, it's the same, right? We just add it all up. So we have, let's add it all up. So we have the perimeter of the rectangle is equal to 2x plus 2 minus 2. That's the long side, right? And then we have to put our brackets, guys. Really, you're gonna just do it. Trust me, just do it. You have to do this for the rest of your life, so you might as well start now. Brackets, brackets when we're doing an expression like this. And then plus the short side, right? And then plus the long side again. We already know how long that is. We don't need them to tell us that. We could see it as the same size. And plus the short side again, which is the same as, this is the same as, well, there's 2x minus 2's, right? So we could just abbreviate that, or simplify it, I should say. And let's put brackets around both of these. I know at this age you guys hate brackets, but you'll come to see that they're necessary. And then plus 2 of the x plus 4's, right? And so let's take the brackets off so you can see it more clearly. That's kind of what it's going to look like. You know what? I think this is fine. Never mind. We don't have to do brackets here, but yeah, we don't have to do brackets here. Okay, we can leave it like that. That's fine. So that's the perimeter of the rectangle. Okay, that's it simplified. So we have it up here in its long version, and then we just simplify it down here. All right, now write an expression for the difference between the perimeter of the star and the perimeter of the rectangle. So they didn't say do it in terms of x, did they? So we could do it in terms of p because that's easier. So the difference, so we could see that the star is bigger, right? Looks pretty big. So we could assume the star is bigger. So PS minus PR. So the perimeter of the star minus the perimeter of the rectangle. That's it. That is the expression. All right, because it's not an equation, because it's not, we can't solve anything here. There's nothing to solve. So then, if you want to put it in terms of x, if you want to, we can, even though it didn't ask us to, so we don't have to do this, but let's do PS. Well, what's PS? Instead of saying PS, we just say 8 4x minus 3. That's the same thing as PS. And then minus, now we have to put these in brackets, okay? Just trust me. Minus 2x minus 2 plus 2x plus 4. And do you guys see what this is? So this is here. Here's PR right here. And here's PR right here. All right? And then here's PS. And here's PS. right? So instead of writing PS minus PR, we wrote it in terms of X, and it's the same thing, all right? So both of these answers would be correct in terms of X or with the P's. Honestly, they didn't tell you to put in terms of X, so if I were you, I'd just put in terms of P because it's kind of easier, isn't it? But this is an expression, it's not an equation because we can't solve anything here. Unless I tell you X equals 2 or X equals 3, then you could solve for it if you wanted, right? So let's go on to the next. But for now, for C, we just write this. We just write the expression or the formula, I guess you could say. So now let's go to the next. So that's I'm going to undo all this. So that's the answer to C, is this guy and this guy, whichever one you want. Same thing. All right, those are both correct. Now, it's telling us that the perimeter of the star is 24, let's not do 24, let's do 38 centimeters more than the perimeter of the rectangle, okay? So write down an equation in X. See, this is kind of confusing because it didn't say, like, what are we talking about? They're talking about this, right? They're saying, write down an equation in terms of X with the perimeter of the star being 38 centimeters more than the perimeter of the rectangle. So what I'm going to do first is write it down in terms of P because it's just prettier. So the perimeter of the star is bigger. So the perimeter of the star equals the perimeter of the rectangle plus 38 centimeters, right? Because the perimeter of the rectangle is smaller, and if you add 38, you're going to get the same size as the perimeter of the star. Okay, so that's the equation written down in terms of P. Let's write it down in terms of X. So let's put a little text box over here, and we can just to remind us what PS and PR were, okay? Why is that? So let's remember P star, what did that equal again? Let's go up just to remind ourselves. It's 8 times 4x minus 3. 4x minus, that's the perimeter of the star. And the perimeter of the rectangle, what is that again? It's here. It's 2 times 2x minus 2. Plus 2 times x plus 4. Okay, so that's just our little, reminder, right? That's our little notes. Reminder. Okay, so I just, let's take all this down here. So the perimeter of the star is 38 centimeters more than the perimeter of the rectangle. So I just wrote down the equation, but I didn't write it in terms of X. I just did that to kind of like start the process and kind of get it more organized in my brain. Now we're going to do it in terms of X. So if we leave it like this, we will get the wrong answer. We need it in terms of X. So let's do it in terms of X. So what is PS? PS is 8 and then equals, right, PR plus 38, right? Because here's PS, here's PR, and then here's that plus 38. Okay, so that's the final answer. In terms of x, here's the answer for C. Okay, that's the equation. And why is it an equation now? Why isn't it an expression? Well, there's an equal sign, so we can solve for x, right, using the function machine or whichever method you want to use. So now let's solve for x. That's the next question. So we take all this down. We take it down here. And let's solve for x now. I'm going to put this in red so you guys know it's the answer. But this is the final answer in terms of x. That's the real answer. So I'm actually going to highlight it in yellow. So that's the real answer. So now let's solve for x, okay? Let's do it. So we have 8. So first thing we're going to do is expand, all right? So let's expand. So we do 8 times 4x. We don't really care that there's no base. We could always multiply the coefficients. When we're multiplying, we could always multiply the coefficients. That's okay. So 32x. Next term is 8 times negative 3 equals negative 24 equals 2 times 2x, that's 4x. And then 2 times negative 2, that's negative 4. And then plus 2 times x, that's just 2x. And then 2 times 4, that's 8. And then plus 38, okay? So that's expansion, right? So we did nothing but multiplying there, right? We multiplied. So now let's simplify. So in this step, we're just going to combine all the like terms. So we're just going to add and subtract for now, just for now, for the first step. So first thing I want to do is just combine all the like terms that are on the same side of the equation on the equal sign. So we leave everything the same except for we add that 8 and that 38. All right. Oops. Okay. And now let's simplify again. We could have done that in the same step, but I'm just going in a slow way so that you guys could see everything. There's that minus 4, so let's add that minus 4 to the 46. What's positive 46 and negative 4 together? That's going to be positive 44. We could put it at the end if you want, so put that 2x there. Positive 44, okay? Now let's start to solve things, okay? I guess we could call this, I guess we're still simplifying, but I'm going to call it solving just because it's a bit more. Simplifying is just kind of cleaning it up. Like simplifying is pretty easy, all right? So I'm going to say let's start solving. All right, so let's put all the x's on this side. Oh wait, no, we can simplify one more time, can't we? We have some terms that are similar, right? So do you guys see it? 4x, right? Because the base is the same and the exponent is the same, so we could just add the coefficients. All right, there we go. Now let's start solving. So I want to put all the x's on this side, right? Because that x is 32x is bigger than 4x, and I think it's just cleaner and easier. You can put the x on the other side. It doesn't really matter. I just like it better this way. So let's put that positive 4 over on this side, which we change it into a negative. And let's put that negative 24 on the other side, which makes it a positive, okay? And so now we have, I'm just going to start using these little arrows to show we're just going step by step now, right? So 32 minus 4, 28x. 44 plus 24 is 68. And now we do the function machine. If you still don't know how to solve this, you're just going to have to do the function machine. So for some of you know how to solve this, that's great. But if you don't, let's just do the function machine. So we would say x is the input. We know that, right? X times, oh, I want to do a little box. to show the function machine. I know a lot of you don't care, but I care. So let's insert a text box, a little tiny one, okay. This little box will be the function machine, okay. So x, what is x? What's the operation? It's times, right? It's x times 28. That little asterisk is a multiplication, okay? So let's put it here. Okay, I'll put another space. So that's our little function machine box. X times 48 equals, oh no. Okay, it works. Equals, what's the output? The output is 68, right? And now we go opposite. So now 68 is the input. And the function machine is now, we just changed the sign, now it's dividing by, right? Dividing by instead of multiplication. And then we do and then the output is x. All right, and this x is supposed to be small. All right, so now let's say it out loud. 68, so the final answer is 68 divided by 28 equals x, okay? That's the final answer. So x equals 68 divided by 28. And that's the same thing as, I'm just going to show you it in both ways because some of you I think still get confused by this, which is the same thing as x equals. Let's get the equation. X equals 68 over 28. All right. And we can reduce that. Well, let's reduce it a little bit. They're both divisible by 2. I'm actually just gonna, well, let's reduce it just once. Let's say it's the same thing as, sorry, I'm going so slow on this, but I want to make sure you got it. So let's do 68 divided by 2, that's 34. And then 28 divided by 2, that's 14. Ooh, we can reduce it again. They're not any prime numbers, are there? So let's keep reducing. Because I think you're not allowed your calculator. So $34 divided by 2 is 16. 14 divided by 2 is 7. Okay, so 7 is a prime number, so we can't go any further than that. So the final answer is x equals 16 divided by 7. And you could write it, of course, in this other way. Same thing. I just like to show you guys that that's what's happening here because I feel like some of you don't know that. So the answer is 16 over 7, okay? 16 divided by 7. That's the final answer. All right, so that's how you do that one. and I showed it on 2 of the practice exams, so you should be able to solve that, okay? So that's the final answer here.